Hi guys, thought it might be helpful to kind of walk through some of the steps involved in entering some of these practice orders, um, just to address some of the concerns that we anticipate you running into or questions that you may have that we ran into when entering them. Just again, thought I would share that. So going to walk through a couple of things. I'm starting with my navigator screen. As you probably know, there's a couple of ways that you can access um, an order entry transaction screen, or any of the screens that you're going to be relying on a daily basis. You can either click this menu option here, and if I wanted to do an entry and OE transaction entry, I could access it that way. I could do one of these little quick links and click on the appropriate, and I can hover. It'll give me an explanation as to what it is. I could click on that. Or if I knew the acronym, I could simply type it in the address, which I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's OEET. And I'm going to hit enter. You probably won't see that. What it did is it populated with the customer number that I was on last. I'm just going to go ahead and went back up into that field and simply cleared that out. I'm going to add, click add a new order. We're only doing stock orders right now for practice, so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to go ahead and get my customer number in here. Before I move on, I wanted to let you know, I think they call this section here the banner. And you'll notice that an order number has not been generated yet. So we can easily get out of this or change any of these fields. Once you've moved past this field, once an order number is actually generated, getting rid of that order, if you decide to get out of it or cancel it, is a little bit trickier. It's not a matter of hitting escape, and I will definitely cover that as well in this recording because I think it is something that a lot of people are curious about. So I am looking at sample order number 11997-482. This looks like it's for customer C. Logan Construction. Their bill to is in Springfield, and in this case, there is a ship to address on here. The customer number is also noted on the pick ticket, and you will find that in the upper left-hand corner. So in this case, the customer number is 211884. Now at this point, I will tab field to field, or I can also hit this workflow forward button to bring me to the fields that are required in each section. I'm going to hit tab. And the first thing that comes up are any notes that this customer has on their account. You can read those over. Once you feel satisfied, simply hit close to close out that window. I want to stop here and talk about this ship to section briefly, because this is definitely something that was new to me and something I really had to wrap my brain around. So the way that Lansing uses ship tos in their SXE system is a way they use it to manage their master and sub accounts. So the ship to in this case really isn't the ship to address or the delivery address of the order that you're entering. It really is meant to denote a master versus a sub account. Now, if it is a customer that does not have a sub account, this field on this banner at the beginning of your order will not be required. You will not be putting anything in there. You won't be typing in a ship to or looking for ship tos using the magnifying glass or clicking on anything. If you're able to get past it and it's not required, don't worry about it. If it is required, then you'll be expected to select the appropriate account, whether it's the master or general account, or whether there are sub accounts listed in there. And I'm going to quickly, after this, I'm going to go into another order where that field is required, and I'll just show you what that looks like. But I wanted to touch on that, something to wrap your head around. The ship to address is addressed in an upcoming screen. So I'm going to hit tab here, customer PO number. Looking at my order, there is a PO number noted in here, 9109 Friars Road. And then I'm going to tab over to the warehouse section. The warehouse section in this test environment is defaulting to blank for everybody. But once we are up and running and that new model is in place, your warehouses should default to the branch that you're covering for. So if you are the dedicated customer care rep for the Salem branch, your warehouse will default to the Salem branch. If you are a customer care rep that's answering for multiple branches, and we have a few of you out there that will continue to do that, then your warehouse will default to blank, and it will be on you to select the appropriate warehouse based on which branch you're answering for. Leighton's an example of that. He is going to be dedicated to Portland and Augusta. So when he gets a customer calling and he's entering an order for one of those branches, he will have to select the appropriate warehouse here. If I hit my workflow forward button without populating that, it is a required field, so there's no risk of you leaving that blank in error. So that's a good thing. It'll definitely push you to enter something there. These errors don't scream out at you in red, but they are very consistent and show up right here, front and center at the bottom of the screen. In this case, they are in Springfield, Virginia, and I'm going to go with the assumption that that's Richmond. There may be a closer branch, but we can put Richmond in there for the sake of this example. Now, at this point, I'm going to click my workflow forward button. If this ship to was required in this case, it would come up with an error right as it did with a warehouse. But I know that this customer does not have a master and sub account set up. So I'm going to click workflow. I'm going to ask for my initials and my password. And here is the ship via information, and this is where we're really going to note the appropriate ship to. So I'm looking at my order again. The company name is the same, but I'm taking out the project name and entering the address they have noted on this pick ticket, which is 9109 Friars Road. And that's in Bethesda. 20817. Now, there are a couple of required fields on this page as well. And as I mentioned, if you click the workflow forward button, it's going to prompt you. So in this case, one of these required fields on this screen is that ship via. Now, for the sake of practice, you're just going to pull the ship via right off that pick ticket and enter it here. So on this order, it's noted as TLCT. So I put in TLCT here and I hit enter, and then it brings up the appropriate ship via. I know that the ship vias in the new system, there's a lot more to choose from than what we had to deal with in SAP and at Harvey. You will be given a list of those ship vias and what they mean and what they're to be used for. I believe that was part of the recordings as well, so you'll get a refresher when you listen to those. But just, you know, I know that's one of the things that we need to overcome, but we will get something in your hands to reference to help with that. If I attempt to workflow forward again, it'll let me know if there are any other fields that need to be filled out. In this case, I'm seeing job type. I can click that magnifying glass and click search if I need to see the options. This pick ticket doesn't tell me what the job type is. It's not important for the sake of practice, so I'm just going to go new construction, but you, when practicing, can select anything here. All right, if I knew the name of the person who was placing the order, I would definitely note it in there. But I know that's not a required field. And if I hit workflow forward, it's going to bring me forward into that tax screen. The tax screen is also something new to us. A couple things I want to mention on this. I do believe that once we're up in the live system, that this tax information will auto-populate based on the delivery address. If it does not, there is no list in the system where you can search for counties. It would be a matter of going to Google and doing a quick Google search. And in this case, this order is going to Bethesda. I went into Google and I said, what is the county for Bethesda, Maryland? And it came right up as Montgomery. That's kind of a pain in the butt, and I realized that. But I also wanted to let you know that, you know, once we're live and you are dedicated to one or two branches, you're really going to be dealing with a very small amount of counties. So it may even be something you could put on a Post-it note. I suspect that you're going to get to know your counties pretty well and probably won't even need to look them up at some point. But ultimately, I think this field's going to auto-populate for us, so don't stress over it too much. And I'll move on here, but I do need to get this tax information in here. Let's say I saw this screen and I'm practicing and I said, I'm not going to put that in there. I'm just going to workflow forward. It's telling me I have invalid tax information. Okay, I'll put it in there now. Oh, wait, now everything is grayed out. This is something that somebody ran across, so I wanted to mention it. You may run across that. How the heck do I get back in there to add it? This back arrow says reset screen. If you hit reset screen, it'll open up those fields. In fact, if I try to workflow past those fields again by clicking that workflow forward button, I actually see that right on my little error message. Reset screen to finish entry. So again, reset screen, those fields will open up. So the taxing state in this point is Maryland, and the county I looked up is Montgomery. This point, I can workflow forward, and now I'm in my line screen. You're going to learn real quick that the tab key is your friend and the enter key is not so friendly. You're going to hit enter inadvertently and you're going to drop the line. I did it probably 20 times in entering these orders. I was getting really frustrated with myself, but this is what this practice is about. It's about getting a feel and getting the hands-on and what the system looks and feels like, okay? So I want to run through that scenario with you. So line item, I want to tab. These items should all be stock items, so you certainly want to leave that stock. I'm going to tab over now. I'm in the product field. I'm not going to stress out too much searching for products. Right now, we will get you some cheat sheets about that and additional training on product codes and what the Harvey products that we're more accustomed to ordering, what those might look like in the system. But for the sake of practice, I'm in this product line, and I'm just going to pull that product number right off of my pick ticket, my order here. And the order number, or product number rather, is 3804125. If I inadvertently hit enter here, which I've done, it's going to what they call drop the line into my order. Quantity 1 is not what I want on this. In fact, this customer is ordering 495 of those items. It's just a matter of clicking on the line, double clicking on the arrow here, and you'll notice these fields are opened back up. So if I keyed in the wrong product number and dropped the line, that's the way that I would get back up there. Or if I needed to adjust the quantity, that's the way I would get back up there. So now I'm up there. I can go ahead and these fields are open for editing, go back to my quantity ordered and enter the appropriate amount, which in this case is 495. At this point, I could hit enter. Automatically starts my next line, which is line 2. I tab to get off of that, tab to move off the line type. Now I'm onto product 2, 3804722. Tab to my quantity. In this case, I see they're ordering 21. Pay attention to the net available, but don't worry about it as far as the practice goes. A lot of these items will have 0 on hand or 0 net available. Once we're live, this is definitely a field we're going to want to be in tune with because it's telling us exactly the number on hand we have available to sell today at this moment in time, right? So pay attention to that going forward. Again, for the sake of practice, no worries. I've entered the 21. Paying attention to my units, I can see on my pick ticket pieces, that's reflected here as well. So 21 pieces. This may also say carton. There may be other units, but in this case, it's pieces. I hit enter, it drops my line. Tabbing again, I'm going to add the third item, which is 3803200. Darn it, I hit enter. I need to get back in there and change the quantity ordered. And this is on line 3. I go to line 3, I double click, opens those fields up. I can go right back into my quantity ordered field and I can adjust that to the correct quantity ordered and hit enter. I'm only going to enter in a couple of items here. Just wanted to give you a feel for that and what that might look like. The more items you key in, the better you're going to feel, the more comfortable and familiar you're going to be. It's all about getting a feel right now, not knowing absolutely the ins and outs of how the system works. We will get you there, I promise. But right now, it's getting you in the system, getting your hands on it, and building up that confidence and familiarity. So at this point, I'm satisfied. I'm saying that they just ordered these 3 items. And to move forward, I'm going to go ahead and hit my workflow forward. All right, looks good. I can see the delivery charge was an add-on. It automatically applied based off of the ship via that we selected. Workflow forward. It gives us a little pop-up, which is great because we want to let our customers know about those add-ons, right? I hit OK, and my order is saved. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add another order. You'll notice that the customer number flows through and stays with you. You can simply go in there and delete it out. I wanted to show you a customer that has a master account or has a required ship to, just to show you what that looks like. And I'm also going to show you how to delete/cancel an order once you've started it. In this case, I'm going to go with Richard Rath, which is the example customer that Nikki often uses in her training. I don't recall his customer number, but I do know his name. So I can actually type his name right into the customer field, and I can hit enter. Apparently, he's the only Richard Rath in the system, so it automatically populated his customer number. I'm going to hit tab. Any notes associated with the account automatically pop up. I hit close there. I'm going to tab past the ship to field. There's no PO number in this case. I know that I need to put in a warehouse, so I'm going to go ahead and put Richmond in there. And now I'm going to hit my workflow. Let's see, it's going to ask for my initials. And hit OK. And then now, instead of the workflow, instead of moving forward to the next screen, you'll see this error again in the bottom front and center of the screen, letting me know that the ship to number is required. Because this account is asking for a ship to here in this particular field, because it's required, that tells me that this is one of those accounts that has a master and several sub accounts. And a great example of that came up earlier today. I believe it was Granite State Glass, a large customer of ours. Granite State Glass, they have a headquarters and main office, but they also have multiple locations that we not only ship to, but that we bill to. And that's the whole that's what a master and sub account is. It's one headquartered location that has a variety of different locations that we not only ship to, but we actually bill separately. And that's pretty much in simple terms how you would define master and sub accounts. So in this case, it's not going to let me get past this field. That tells me that they are one of those accounts. So what I would do at this point is I would click my magnifying glass. We see the general, which is also known as the master account. And then we would see any subsequent sub accounts listed here. We would want to select the appropriate one. In this case, I'm just going to select general. Now when I hit my workflow forward button, it allows me to proceed. And I can see at this point that my order number has been created. So let's say at this point, the customer's like, hangs up, whatever the scenarios are. Let's just say you want to bail on this order. This order needs to be canceled. There's been several of us in there. Okay, now what? I'm clicking on everything. What about this reset button? How do I get out of this? And there is, I think it's easy, but it's not a very obvious way, right? So once that order number is created, you actually have to cancel that order and send it to lost business. They track all canceled orders, and we could talk about that more in depth later on. But I just want to let you know, once you're past that first banner screen, that order number is generated. The only way for you to get out of this thing is by canceling that order. So in order to do that, at any point in your order, you would here in the bottom right-hand corner, you would click suspend. Make sure to note suspend here by checking that box. I'm going to hit OK. It's letting us know there's actually no items on this order. That's okay. I still want to cancel it. Then I'm going to click delete in the upper left-hand corner. It's automatically going to populate that order number that I was just on. I hit enter. I can select the reason I'm sending it to lost business and hit OK. And now that order is gone. So I'm going to cover that again. I'm adding an order. I'll keep my customer in there for customer Richard Rath. I'm going to select general. I'm going to put in Richmond. I'm going to flow forward. Hit OK. I would this address is going to auto-populate. We could override this with the specific delivery address for that order. My ship via, I'm just going to do, actually I'll do FLT. Truck with forklift. I know that my job type is required. In this case, I'm going to say it's a remodel. Workflow forward. Excuse me, a lot of talking. I tried really hard not to cough in your ear. Sorry about that. Tax state. Let's say at this point, this is when I want to cancel my order. I'm trying to get out of here. Can't. I go to the bottom right-hand corner. I'm canceling this order. Oops, wrong customer. I just noticed that. That's a good example, right? You look up, you're like, oh, shoot, wrong customer. Suspend the order. Click suspend. Hit OK. It's asking us for the tax information. That's okay. I hit OK again. Actually, I think it's going to require that I put the tax information in there before I suspend it, which is kind of a bummer. But that allows me to cover this again. It's grayed out. How do I get back in there? I reset the screen. I have a feeling I'm going to get an error here, but we'll see. Oop. I actually accidentally hit finish order and error, but I'm not upset about it because if you do that, it's the same exact steps. You've done that. You click delete. The order number automatically populates. You hit enter, and you can select the appropriate lost business reason. Hopefully I didn't make that more confusing for you guys, but for whatever reason, I clicked the green arrow, the green check mark instead of suspend, but it was really the same steps. All right. The only other quick thing I wanted to cover with you guys is to let you know that, remind you of this, there's a cute name for it in the Lansing family. They actually refer to this as SpongeBob. So I click on the little SpongeBob for the notes. But what I wanted to actually talk about is this help screen here. When you're in a particular module or screen, so order entry, if you click help and you click how do I, you're going to get a list of items specific to order entry. Spend some time in the how do I. It is very helpful. So a good example of that is I'm in order entry and I want a reminder on how I copy an order. How do I? Click that. Just click on any item in here and start typing copy, and it brings you right down. And there it is, copy a sales order. I double click on it and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. All right, well, this has already gone longer than I expected, but I didn't want to have to put all of this information into a email. I hope this was helpful to you. Again, this is just a means of getting you at least some hands-on as soon as possible to get you keying in some orders and getting a feel for the system. Play around in there. You really can't hurt anything in the test environment. As you run into things and questions, things you don't quite understand, things you don't know yet, please share that list with your training lead, and then we are getting together as a group to discuss them, and then we are presenting them to our Lansing legacy people for assistance and clarity, which we will share with you. So please give your lead the feedback, allow them the opportunity to walk you through some things. It may be something they already know how to do, and if not, they can add it to their list and we'll present it to the right people to get that information for you. All right. Have fun with this. I know it's stressful, but really, for whatever time that you have dedicated, you're able to go into the test environment, close out of everything out, close out of everything else, and just enjoy the process of getting to learn this new system and how it works, and navigating and adding items, changing customers, and things like that. Okay. Good luck and have fun. Thank you, guys.